Hi and welcome. I am celebrating my very first Lammas, and I did purchase this a couple weeks ago, the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. And there was one thing that I liked in the writing on the back, and that was that this deck will guide you to believe in yourself and give you the courage to chase your desires. And I also like the one line above that, support to nourish your dreams. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm really late to the party, I know, but I found this little bouquet for my door and I've stolen it from my altar here. And this is the circle deck that I just completed. So if I'm giving thanks to how well that went, and I did get a crystal chosen. There is a site, Positive Energy with Crystals, and I'll leave that in a link. And she suggested a quartz with a little bit of color, and my pendulum, out of about a dozen crystals, chose this one. And I think it has a little bit of citrine in it. So that's the one that's going in the bag. And I'm thankful to have some crystals on hand. This is all about harvest, giving thanks, having gratitude, as well as it said on the box, nurturing our dreams. So I made this little nest with these crystal eggs in here, and I like 3 because 3 is growth. So I'm hoping that although I'm thankful for all that I have completed, this year, I'm also going to be looking at, further dreams, further ambitions. And I thought this cloth with the little birds was appropriate. But, I've got my little witch hat in the back, as I say, some greenery for growth, because I'm all about that. And I'm going to put this in its holder, and let's get busy opening this deck. Oh, and I forgot to show my little attempt. I didn't make bread, but I do have some fresh crackers here to represent that for the holiday celebration of Lammas. Okay, so I'm just going to get this wrapper off and we'll see what the deck is about. It is a Rockpool deck, and this is only the second one in the series that I have, and I'm hoping that will give me some guidance on working through this celebration. But I'm just going to be, grateful that it came up at a discount and I was able to grab it for my collection and for learning. So that makes the color stand out a little bit more. And you can see the artist and author there. It is a nice hard box. It's very clean, very neat. And that, if you want to do a screenshot, shows a little bit more. But I'm sure lots of people have seen this deck, but it's all new to me. I haven't even watched very many videos on these cards. I never thought that they would appeal to me, but I'm starting to feel the bug. So there is our book that goes with it. That is the interior. And it's the same for the lid, but the green matches the sides that have been, colored so beautifully. Beautiful green ribbon. Let's get this off. And into the holder it's going to go so it's a little bit steadier. And I'm just going to adjust the lighting, I think, so that we can see things more clearly. All right, now I'm not going to go through the book. That is something that I'm going to enjoy myself later. But if people haven't seen the deck, let's just enjoy that. So Lammas, what I have been able to find so far is, I want to get that in focus just a bit better. So on the little search that I did on Google, Lammas, as far as I understand, is to celebrate the harvest of the crops, the fruits of our labor, and our achievements. Some celebrate it July 31st. into the eve prior to August 1st. I understand it's a cross quarter day. And goddesses that can be used are Demeter, not used, I guess, invoked, Demeter, Isis, Iana, Ceres, and Caradwen. And I am not familiar in saying any of those names. So back to the deck. So card number 1, bakery. And had I had the skill, I would have loved to make a beautiful loaf of bread to honor this. But it does talk about taking the time to diligently practice and refine our craft. Now, what are the backs like? Well, green for me is always growth. Yellow gold is one of my favorite colors, and I appreciate the moon there. It's a good cardstock, nice rounded corners, and it's not too large in the hand. The bird feeder. And we do have so many birds. And now that our swallows have left us because the babies have hatched, flown, we're just so lonely without them. So I can't wait again till next spring. But this is Lammas, and I'm appreciative of them visiting us and nesting in our boxes. So the bird feeder is very, it's a great card for me. It says a lot. Every tiny action taking in the pursuit of growth is a powerful step in the right direction. Bushels of apples. Well, that definitely is harvest, and there's a lightness and a happiness to it. It is just gorgeous. I don't know why I was hesitant on this deck. The cemetery. And for me, it is one of my favorite spots to go. I don't know why. I love touring cemeteries. I love reading all the headstones. And I've even it was many, many years ago, but I took a friend to the cemetery for her birthday. And we did some rubbings on some of the stones, had a beautiful lunch on a picnic type. And it was just fabulous. So cemeteries, it's hard for me to express. It's like there's a warmth there and a welcoming. Citrine, and I believe that is what I picked to bless my new deck with. So that will bring confidence. That's wonderful. So this image is a little bit tricky for me, but I can see it's the shape of almost a citrine stone. Very close. And she's nestled in there. Collecting seeds, something else that I do. And I have some foxgloves that are about to be ready for me to scatter, so I'm waiting for that. And it suggests, remember that what was once planted has grown, and now it's time to sow new seeds. I have a few wild gardens, so I just love casting them. Coming of fall. It's neat the way these crows or ravens crown her head. Let the spark of hope within you ignite and never cease, for it is never too late to manifest your dreams. Hence these beautiful eggs that I've collected over here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do a little ritual and place my intentions and my hopes, similar to the manifestation box that I did. And that was, again, inspired by the woman at Positive Energy with Crystals, because she has so much knowledge of the crystals to share with me. Very fortunate to have met her and found her channel. Now, this is community service, and I don't donate my time, but I donate as much as I can that I no longer use and is still in wonderful condition that so someone else might be able to love it. So the balm to your wounds lives in the spark that radiates love and brings healing to the world. And we are very much in a new community here in Nova Scotia, and they are very welcoming. We try to partake of every event that comes around. Coneflower, one of my favorites. Can't seem to grow it in Nova Scotia though. Corn. I see the farmers' fields filling with it. Let spirit guide you and take meaningful action. Dreams become reality when combined with purposeful intent and action. Corn dollies. I've never made one, but I love them. Cornucopia, one of the major symbols for me for that look of harvest and plenty. Neat little painting on the wall there. And the mirror for reflection. Candles. It looks like an altar setting to me. The country fair. Summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. So there's 2 cards so far suggesting get more involved with the community. Craftsmanship, little fox curled up on his lap. Empower yourself with knowledge that each challenge brings you closer to mastery. Sort of like the magician with all the tools he has there. Coffee in hand. Looks like a tiny little snail there on his shoulder. Yeah, there used to be a saying on some tea towels my mother had, haste makes waste. So craftsmanship does take time. Dried flowers. Failed harvest. Yes, I'm running into that. The soil here in Nova Scotia, one farmer explained it as being sour and that lime would help because it is hard clay soil and it's going to take a lot of compost. The farmhouse. Farm to table. Vancouver used to have a lot of restaurants like that, harvesting from local farmers and bringing it to restaurants. Fennel. Favorite fennel. I even like fennel tea. I don't mind chewing on the fennel seeds, but it says there's nothing to fear. Trust that everything will work itself out. I like the bird on the book because there's messages to be had. Very nice. Flower bouquet. That reminds me of a Van Gogh painting. Seems like she is part of the canvas almost. Living in the small moments. There's your magic. Fruit jam. Used to love making fruit jam. Now I can't imagine investing all that time. But the results are tasty. Fruit trees. Don't miss what is right in front of you. Everything is as it should be. That's so hard for me to pause, breathe, and appreciate the in-between. I'm working with the Sisterhood Oracle, and that's one of the cards I got. It's the in-between that's important. Garden tools. They do certainly help. You must summon the courage and strength to acquire the resources you need. The garland, bought that yesterday just for my altar. Everything, synchronicity seems to be happening and led me to this deck and to learn to celebrate the Sabbats. Grapevine, the harvest basket, gather the fruits of your hard work and dedication. So it'll be interesting when I shuffle these later tonight with a little bit of candlelight. See what cards come up. Hold light to your vision as you're being called to climb to new heights. And I'm also working with the Santa Morte, and that is going to draw me to new heights. Here's iced tea, something my mother and I used to love and enjoy, and her name was Joy. Leo, to deny your heart's joy is to deny nourishment to your spirit. Leos are very powerful people. The lion. I like how it's enveloping her. That's really nice. Take a deep breath and remember that peace of mind is the key to navigating your current challenges. Oh, I wish I could do that. There's so many good books on my shelf to read, and we have a beautiful garden coming along, but the bugs are just incredible. Poetry. Invoke your words for good and use them to uplift yourself and others. I like how the ancestors are on the wall. Poppy. When I think of poppy, I do think of the illusions, but also that gives you a chance to dream. And this one says, pause for a moment to reset, reconnect with your soul. And that was another card that came up for me. Dream your desires into reality. Prayers to Earth. She's working her magic. Rooster and hens. Little Red Riding Hood almost there. Summer games. Bravery involved there. Sunburst. So that is what was on the box. Embrace your inner light and share it with the world, inspiring others to do the same. It's all about sharing. And I hope you realize that I know nothing about Lammas, and anything you can share with me will be greatly appreciated. Probably this is not appropriate because this is newness and we're really working with harvest. But as I said, I like what it said on the box. Your dreams, your desires, and to me they sit within that egg waiting for development. But there's the Van Gogh sunflower, almost. This could be like the raven in the background. Follow your bliss and watch as the things that are meant for you come home to you. Now that, everything's reminding me today of other things, but that reminds me of Essence of the Moon, when she felt, when she was walking down the driveway and discovering mugwort, that the herb had come home and she was comfortable at her home and everything was starting to click for her magically. It's wonderful. Terracotta pots. I like the eyes of the butterfly or moth above her. Love the band with the little sunflower on the crow or the raven. Tiger's Eye. I do have some of that. A new path and opportunities for positive transformation await you. It's nice to look past the camera because then I can see more of the image and how she's really leaning into the energy, embracing it. Vegetable garden. Not sure how many cards are in this, but I guess we're going to find out. Probably 44. Weeds. Neglecting to address the weeds within will prevent you from abundantly receiving. Another tricky one, eh? We all have our fair share of weeds within us. And the idea, I guess, is to nurture the flowers within, not the weeds. Clearing, cleaning house. Welcoming the harvest. Expecting growth and expansion. Yeah, when we put our efforts into something, we do want growth and expansion. We want that ability to harvest and know that the energy spent was worthwhile. But we learn. So this is our last one. I'm almost sad that it's over. Wheat and grains. You reap what you sow. Good fortune is on the way. Well, I'm just going to pause, shuffle the cards a wee bit, and see if we can get one card for insight during our celebrations of Lammas. It's interesting, the edges, they do have a green tinge, but in different lights they do have gold. They're not difficult for me to shuffle. I get the feeling that there's a very peaceful, calm nature to this deck, and I'm liking that calmness in amongst our busyness. So let's pick one card. Let's see what we get here. Poetry. Haven't done that in a long, long time. Invoke your words for good and use them to uplift yourself and others. I did write a poem when I was in high school, and the teacher was wondering if I copied it from somewhere else, and I don't know why it sits with me, but it does. And it was Him, that's the title. Him, he is your idol to cherish and love. Others may have others, but he is a part of you, whatever that he means to you. But it has always stuck with me, always been in my mind. I don't know why, and I do enjoy poetry. So there we have it, invoking our words for good and using them to uplift us. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to enjoy my first Lammas, and even if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize, but I am just learning about the quarters, the cross quarters, and all the celebrations of the wheel, and any words that are uplifting and motivating that you can share with me, I will appreciate. I have one thing I'm going to also do, and that is I found another station, and it's called Thor's Stone Tarot and Intuitive Guidance. And I am so thrilled. I'm watching the one now that is a review of the Wanderer's Tarot. I've never seen it, but the way his voice is and the way he explains the cards, even though he says he's not going to talk about the cards, it'll take up too much time. Like, he's talking and he wants to just have, I guess, the cards flowing because he's a little bit fearful he's taking up too much time talking. But it's the talking and his insights that are fabulous. So I'm going to include that as well in my description. And if you have this deck and you have any insights, love to hear it. And I'm getting ready to celebrate. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful Lammas, however you celebrate it, and blessings to all.